Luke chapter 24 tells us of the story of Jesus, what happened after Jesus was resurrected from the dead. And in this chapter, we are told that some women went to look for Jesus and he was not there. These women then went to the apostles, right? They went to Jesus' apostles and told him that Jesus was not in the tomb. But these apostles, they did not believe the women. We are also told by Luke in chapter 24 of his gospel that Jesus appeared to two men who were on their way to Emmaus, and he spoke with them for a while, but they did not recognize that it was Jesus who was talking with them. And they did not recognize that it was Jesus talking with them until they encouraged Jesus to stay a while with them. And it was when he was about to eat with them. And this is what Luke tells us in chapter 24. Reading from verse 29. But they constrained him, saying, Abide with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is far spent. And he went in to tarry with them. And it came to pass, as he sat at meat with them, he took bread and blessed it, and brake and gave to them. And their eyes were opened, and they knew him, and he vanished out of their sight. This was when these men recognized Jesus Christ. Luke further goes on to tell us in Luke 24 that the women, and so they went to the disciples and they told them that Jesus Christ has risen. Now, going further down, as we look at verse 34, saying, The Lord is risen indeed, and hath appeared to Simon. And they were told what things were done in the way, and how he was known of them in breaking of bread. And as they thus spake, Jesus himself stood in the midst of them, and said unto them, Peace be unto you. So this is where Jesus appeared to his disciples, the apostles. And we are then told what the apostles did, what the early church did from this moment onwards as it regards to Jesus and their way of life. And let us remember what they did. Their first concern was to do what Jesus Christ told them to do. Let us look at this. We are told about this in Luke chapter 24, verse 49, which reads, And behold, I send the promise of my Father upon you, but tarry ye in the city of Jerusalem until ye be endued with power from on high. So, and as Luke writes his next book, the book of Acts, and Acts reminds us, and I will read from verse 4. And being assembled together with them, commanded them that they should not depart from Jerusalem, but wait for the promise of the Father, which saith he, Ye have heard of me. For John truly baptized with water, but ye shall be baptized with the Holy Ghost not many days hence. And verse 8 says, But ye shall receive power. After that, the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria, and unto the uttermost part of the earth. This is what the early church did. They were concerned about doing what God told them to do. I encourage you that as you go throughout this day, be concerned about doing what God has told you to do. Do not be concerned about doing that which you want to do against doing what God has told you to do. Jesus Christ set the example for his apostles, and they have set an example for you and I by doing what the person who has sent them told them to do. And as Jesus Christ was concerned about doing his Father's will, and then Jesus' disciples were concerned about doing what Jesus told them to do. Therefore, you and I should be concerned about doing what God has told us to do. We'll continue to look at the early church and see what they did and how they lived their life as we continue in looking at the book of Acts. God bless you.